Hi guys, I wanted to thank you all for your messages of support since we lost James. After my last video, which I know a lot of you found very hard to watch, I was inundated with messages of love and support and disbelief and just flood of emotions really from everyone, and that's not why I did the video. I wanted to be honest with people and tell James's story. And also, when seeing friends and family, I don't feel that I now need to go through everything in such detail because it's all in my last vlog. So, also in that vlog, I said that I would help others by putting together a little list on how to get through and plan a baby's funeral. So, that's what I'm going to do now. So, James's funeral. Whilst you're at the hospital having just given birth, you will be given paperwork to sign to release your baby's body. And the terminology on this paperwork is not the nicest in the world, I will warn you. It's very much legal terms and medical terminology and not geared towards being sensitive to emotional needs of grieving parents. A lot of places, including Southend General and my lovely midwife Amanda, are trying to have this changed. So yes, you have this paperwork which you sign and you take to your funeral director. If you're Southend local, we cannot recommend Stibbards enough. They were just incredible. We decided to go with them because they were just around the corner from us, so we knew that if we wanted to go to see James at the Chapel of Rest, it was 2 minutes away and not a long drive, which could be harrowing on your way there or on the way back. We took the paperwork there, and you are asked to do more paperwork. The lady we saw, Heather, was wonderful, and she was so sympathetic and helpful and really patient with us because, you know, we'd lost our baby not a week before, and she just was guiding us through every single bit of it. I've had to write down a list because my memory is awful and there's a few bits to remember. So one thing you do have to consider is religion. Now, Mike and I aren't religious, and I think even if we were, this would be being tested greatly at the moment. But we went for a non-religious cremation. We just wanted nice readings and poems, and I wanted to write something for James as well. You do have to consider a list of people coming to the funeral. So I have a lot of extended family, lots of lovely friends, but I didn't think that Mike and I could deal with a huge group of people. So we booked a smaller chapel, and we only had our parents, siblings and their partners and no children, which on the day I was really thankful for because I just could barely cope myself without worrying about a lot of people there and how they were feeling. And for a while I thought that was a bit selfish of me, but it really isn't when you're in that much pain and grief. You have to consider whether you're having a wake. Now, we didn't want one initially, but then we realised that Mike's family were driving like over 2 hours to come and see us for a 15-minute ceremony. So we asked our friend Leanne to come and make some sandwiches for us, and we bought some quiches and things, and Leanne went above and beyond. I can't thank her enough because she made like trays and trays of sandwiches and cakes and fruit cocktails on sticks and things like that. So yeah, thank you for that, Leanne. Music we found really hard. We love music, and music is so emotive, and we didn't want anything that we would hear while, you know, doing our Asda shop or stuff we would generally hear over films and TV. So we literally put into YouTube funeral music and found some really quite obscure pieces that were beautiful, but we're not likely to hear and get caught by in the middle of somewhere random. Picking those was pretty horrendous. Mike and I spent an evening listening to pieces and just sobbed in each other's arms. that was really hard. You have to excuse me. I'm getting better at controlling the tears, but they still come. They still come all the time. You also have to consider cars and flowers. Flowers I felt really hard. I found really hard because Mike and I only got married almost 10 months ago. No, 9 months ago. And the last time I was in a florist, I was picking my wedding flowers, and this time I was picking flowers for my son's funeral. So that was quite hard. But we did get a lovely teddy bear wreath made with a little blue cardigan, and they put proper buttons on the front. Also for Southend people, that is done by Powell's on South Church Road, who were brilliant, and the piece was fantastic. It was really lovely on the day. Order of service, another really hard one for us, because less than a year ago we were designing our wedding invitations, and then we were, funny enough, on the day I should have been 6 months pregnant, instead of planning a baby shower and putting together invitations for that, we were making our own order of service, and we put a picture of James's feet on there and a couple of little quotes and bits on there, but a lot of places will do that for you, so you don't have to worry about that. That's, I think, what I've got on my list at the moment. And then you have the day itself. So on the 11th of April we had James's funeral, and luckily they do it early in the morning for baby funerals, so you're not spending the whole day waiting around for it. But we got up really early and we went into real practical mode. We started cleaning the whole house because we knew both our families were coming back for the wake, and then we found ourselves with an hour before the funeral with nothing to do. But I just sat and cried. Mike just sort of potted around trying to keep his mind occupied, and then the flowers turned up, which set me off, and then the car turned up, and nothing prepares you for that, and nothing will ever prepare you for that. He had a tiny blue coffin in the back of a special car made for small people's funerals. We had a wonderful driver called Scott, who was lovely and really supportive and did everything he could for us. And the drive to the crematorium was just awful. That's the thing with funerals, I suppose. They're quite a public thing, that you have windows and people can see that there's a coffin, and a tiny coffin at that. And I just remember staring at the floor, holding Mike's hand and praying for this day to be over with. And we got to the crematorium and both our families were there, which set us both off sobbing, and we met with the guy who was picked to do our service for James, a lovely guy called Nigel, who was amazing. He wrote some wonderful words that were just beautiful, and he was so kind and considerate, and read the letter that I'd written to James out, which was particularly hard for me to hear. But as weird as it sounds, the funeral went really well. It was really lovely. I don't think we could have done any more to honour James. And yeah, everyone who was involved was just amazing. And then once we left the crematorium, we went home and we had some of the food that Leanne had made and sat chatting, and my brother Stephen and his girlfriend Amy had sorted out a load of blue helium balloons, and we let them off up into the atmosphere to honour James, which was really lovely. It was almost like having a kind of birthday party. It was really sweet, really sweet. And then by 3 o'clock everyone had gone home, and that was one of the weirdest parts of the whole day. yeah, that was really hard because we didn't know what to do with ourselves. We couldn't just like stick the telly on or put the radio on, because I haven't been able to listen to much music again because of the whole emotive thing. And so we went for we went for a car drive. Mike just plonked me in the car and we went for a drive down the seafront. We live on the seafront, so we just went all the way as far as we could go. But the trouble was, because it was half term, every crossing there were small babies, prams, pregnant people, and we got our way to Hadley, and Mike just was like, nope, not dealing with this anymore, we're going to go home. You know, we could keep driving around, but we just keep getting hit with reminders all the time. So he turned the car around. We went back home, but he actually stopped outside an ice cream parlour that's really famous in Southend called Rossi's. And we stopped and had an ice cream outside there, because what else were we going to do? We didn't know what to do, so we just had a nice ice cream. But it's so odd, you just don't know what to do with yourself. Like, you've just buried your son, and what do you do after that? But we went home and we snuggled in blankets and chatted, and eventually we did put the telly on because we didn't want to do anything. We were in no mind to be constructive, and I think we just did a scandal marathon. And then we went to bed. And it was really odd. Really, really odd. So, yeah, that was James's funeral. Now, I've probably skimmed over so much that I may have to go more into detail with people who wish to contact me. So if you do want to know more of the ins and outs and need support, then please feel free to message me. I have been chatting to people on various websites and things who are freshly in this horrible nightmare and need that kind of reassurance. I'm also going to put a blog up on my page with some resources for people to use to help with planning a funeral, dealing with baby loss, that have really helped me over the last few weeks. Just a one-stop shop so that you know where to go and where to get help for. And lastly, we started fundraising for James's legacy. The Butterfly Suite, as I think I mentioned in my last video, where James was born, is funded by family and friends of babies who were lost in that room. And we've raised over £1,000 so far, which is just so incredible, so amazing. I can't thank friends and families and even strangers enough, because people have heard my story and donated. I'll also put the details below on how you can send money over if you wish to contribute, or you can send me a private email if you wish to send a cheque or anything like that. So that has kind of lifted our spirits a little bit, knowing that we'll help other parents who are sad and need help and need support like we have, and we continue to need help and support. I'm seeing our bereavement midwife Amanda on Thursday, so you know, it continues to help me and I hope to help others. Anyway, I'm going to go before I start sobbing again. Yeah, thanks for watching.